Hello, welcome to our lesson on creating a linear equation from a graph. Reflecting back, remember that our structure for this equation is y equals mx plus b, where the letter m represents the slope, which we can think of as steepness of the line, and b represents the vertical intercept, y-intercept, or starting value. We've used all those different terms to describe that point. If we take a look at this graph of this line on our xy axis, and begin thinking about what we need to determine the equation. We're going to need to calculate the slope, the steepness, right? And we're going to need to figure out where it crosses the vertical axis. So first, let's do that. Let's take a look at where it crosses the vertical axis. We can see it's crossing here at the point 4, 0, 4 on the y-axis. That's going to be our constant b. So we have that. Let's hold that for a minute. Next, let's take a look at the steepness. Now, you remember we calculated the steepness of lines by creating what we called slope triangles that measured the vertical change relative to the horizontal change. We put that together into a ratio and we call that slope. So to calculate the vertical change, we can see here that to go from one point to the next, we need to rise one whole unit. And to get over to the right, we need to run, as we call it, one whole unit. So our slope now is 1 over 1. Okay, so that's a review. We've calculated slope before. That represents our slope, 1 over 1, or we could simply say 1. So to recap, what we saw is our y-intercept, or vertical intercept, was 4. This is where our line crossed the y-axis and will represent the constant in our linear equation, b. We saw that our slope, our rise was 1, our run was 1, so our slope ultimately is a ratio of rise over run. Numerator, denominator is 1 over 1, or simply 1. So to put this all together, plug everything in, and finish with a nice linear package here, we have an equation for our graph of y equals 1x plus 4. Excellent. Now you're going to give it a try.